Broadcast it. What's going on, guys? Welcome to a special episode of the Story Comic Core, the one where everyone was unable to make Story Comic Core. So I have seized the show. My name is Carson, and with me, I have a guy who hasn't had a chance to read Y the Last Man yet, so we won't be reviewing it tonight unless two other people come in and this guy leaves. But nonetheless, we got Chad from 90MF Comics with me right now. What's going on, Chad? How you doing?
Yo, what's going on, C. Wood? Thank you for hosting our regular show, Y the Last Man. And as C. Wood said, I actually did not read. I've been swamped with work, so I have not been caught up. And I actually wasn't supposed to make this show because I'm actually supposed to be working right now. But I managed to sneak in here, kind of say what's up, hang out with C. Wood. And it looks like the rest of my compadres didn't even show up. But it's all good because we're all holding it down. We got a shout out to Caleb the Comic Smurf Murphy,
Yep.
Comic Head 84, Alec from White Whale Comics. What's going on, my Story Comic Core brothers? We hope all is well. But until then, you got these two lovely faces.
Awesome, man. Yeah, definitely no worries. I know it's like when you don't have your regular host, Alec of White Whale Comics. The debate is like, are we still going on? And I'm like, yeah, I'll turn on the thing, and it got confusing. So here we are. But we'll go over the chat, just the hot dog and grandstand, to see if anyone else joins us here. Because if you guys are part of that Comic Core chat on Messenger, I put the link to this in the Messenger. So if you want to hop in and join and talk about comics for a little while, please hop on in. Because, hey, Chad's got to go eventually. He's got work, and I got to do some editing tonight. But hey, I just felt like, hey, we promised the live show tonight on the Comic Core, so here we are. So we got John's Comics with Kids with the first one in the chat saying hi, guys. I guess we're supposed to call him King John or Joffrey's Comics with Kids or something. Somehow John won the unboxing match this last Saturday between Bear Island Comics and JB of Discovery Bay Comics, which all I have to say is that Bear Island is tougher than a $2 steak. By God, I'd do my best Jim Ross there without actually going into the full impression. We have White Whale Comics. He's still at work. That's why he's not here tonight. So I guess next week we will continue our regular programming covering Y the Last Man 16 through 20, which I read all of it today. It's going to be good. I can't wait.
You better just join us next week on it.
Yeah, I guess if I'm available, I'll be more than happy to be on after.
You will be, even if we're all here, you join us. I don't care. You're part of the panel next week. You guys heard it first.
Awesome.
Carson will be here. I love Alex comment in the chat. I'm so confused because he's at work, and the last thing he heard that I wasn't going to be on.
Yeah,
it's a whole giant mess right now. But this is awesome. So shout out to the great legend for joining us in the chat. We got to Take the Time Collectibles.
Nice.
Brian, what is up, brother? Thank you for joining us. Comic Noob in the chat. We also have, I think, Mastodon Collecting.
Yeah,
and
we got the Slab Dragon, TJ Watson.
Oh.
Who was like seeing the Slab Dragon in the chat.
What's going on, TJ? Of course. Now, I know it's not Why the Last Man, but Carson, I started a new show that I've kind of like fished you in, and hopefully you'll be joining me this Thursday, but we can kind of go ahead and talk about that now.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
We've deemed it Turtle Talk, but someone threw out a name from it, Review and a Half Show. What do you think of that name?
Oh, that's a good one too.
So maybe we should change it. Maybe I gotta go make a new thumbnail and change the name of the actual show to Review and a Half Show. Yo, what is going on, John?
Bend the knee. We got Joffrey's Comics with Kids. What's going on, man? How you doing tonight?
Nothing. I was actually just on the phone with Comic Core chat a little bit ago, prepping our Thursday Comic Core show for Game of Thrones with Cat Ren.
Nice. Yeah, last week was pretty interesting. Like Chad had a couple special guests on there, and it was a really good show. So I recommend going back. I think Chad still has gotten rabies from that thing he wears. And we have another Comic Core link. Who's it going to be? Everybody has the Comic Core password. It's Chad!
I was just talking to this guy, this crazy guy. What's going on, Chad?
He is sick as a dog, but he showed up anyway in our time of need. What's going on, Chad?
Not much. I'm trying to get everything set up here. What story? I mean, we're doing Y, right?
Well, we were, but none of those people showed up. So I don't want to talk about why, because Chad of 90MF Comics hasn't had a chance to read why yet because he's been busy.
The one member of the crew from that show who showed up hasn't read it.
So, yeah, the one guy, I sped read all of it today because I was preparing to be the interim host. And then Chad had to put together other reviews for his MCE requirements, so he hasn't had a chance to read it yet. So he was going to take a week off, and then everybody else is going to join. Oh, Alec was at work. I don't know. It's as you can tell, it's been a fun way to get this show together. So I'm like, I'll just hit live for this very special episode of Story Comic Core.
Yo, if this hasn't been a Comic Core type of show,
oh yeah.
Please don't. Seawood, are you okay? I mean,
Be okay.
All right.
No, so we were gonna promote our new show on Thursday, which I deemed Turtle Talk, but now I might change it to Review and a Half show because we're talking everything turtles, and I kind of pulled C. Woodard into this new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle run that's happening right now. You have Splinter as the head of the Foot Clan. Shredder's dead. He's in hell. He's trying.
You've been selling. I swear, I've never seen somebody sell a book the way Chad. Every channel I catch him on, he was on MCE. I was listening. He was tearing that up, telling everybody. I'm like, I'm not even a huge turtle fan. I'm like, I gotta go get these books.
That's what I'm talking about, man. Like people need to talk about it, man.
No, I literally, after hearing his off-air sales pitch, I literally left Free Comic Book Day with a stack about this big of turtle books that were all half off. I'm like, Chad from 90MF told me to get them all, so I just racked up everything. I literally bought everything that was on the shelf. I'm missing issue 89 of this, but it looked like a filler issue, so I'm not too concerned, but I got like 90 up until the current run starts for City at War. So far, I'm very thrilled with the run, Chad.
Hey, see? There you go, John.
This is extremely confusing.
Basically, you can't go off the rails, Chad, if you never were on the rails.
I just keep on hearing my name, and I'm like, who's talking to me? I literally was. I had my blanket up. I was going to sleep, and I saw the. I was like, I better jump on and help out. I don't even know what I'm going to talk about. We can talk about the greatest. I did call John a little earlier and asked him because John has a connection with a certain horror guy, and because our guest on Friday night Comic Core his name is Mark Patton. Mark has a new movie out. It's a documentary called Scream Queens, and it is about Nightmare on Elm Street 2. He was the main victim in Nightmare on Elm Street #2. So he's going to be our guest because Cat wanted him, so we got him.
Was that the one who was like where Freddy tells him, he's like, "You got the body and I got the brain."
Yeah, that's it.
That's the line. I love that movie. The first 3 Nightmare on Elm Streets, man, those are all good in my opinion. Definitely Dream Warriors. I think there's a Mondo poster that comes out tomorrow for Dream Warriors. I'm definitely gonna have to try to get too. You guys like Mondo T's posters? Yeah. There's a really cool Nightmare 3 coming out tomorrow. It's like a comic book version of the Nightmare 3 poster, so can't wait for that.
Is that Nightmare 3? That's the one they're the insane asylum, right?
Yeah, that's the Dream Warriors where the kids are in the insane asylum, and it's got that awesome Dokken theme.
Yeah. Yeah, and none of the characters on the poster are in the movie.
The characters in the movie are good though. At least you get Nancy's back, and then you get that kid Kincaid, who's awesome. He dresses like Mario toward the end, and then you get the Wizard Master, who Freddy he doesn't believe in that magic bullshit or something like that. So that's my favorite one probably.
This is now horror talk. Here we go.
You're talking horror talk? Yeah.
Horror.
But
horror.
All right, I'm sorry.
Chad from Comic Core, would you like to be on this show next week? Because Chad from 90MF Comics has said I have to be on next week now. But I kind of want you on there with me too because it's the Safe Word storyline.
Oh yeah, no, I like that.
Yeah, I know. That's the one who's like, it's super weird, but it's awesome.
Yeah,
We're gonna talk about it. That's what's coming
great.
up.
Oh, we're gonna have a great panel next week. This is gonna be awesome.
If everybody shows up. Does anyone have a milk carton with Caleb Comic Smurf Murphy and Comic Head 84 on it? I haven't seen those guys in the chat.
I can call Kenny.
Yeah, put him on speaker.
Yeah, see?
I can get through to Caleb, I think.
I was just like, I don't
But
know.
what, you know-
Yeah, versus Comic Head. He's in the chat. Comic Head 84. He says, oh no, I messed up the time. We need the natural to whip these guys into shape.
Yeah, my favorite is Alex saying he goes, expect me to join coming in like the 30th person in the Royal Rumble.
Yeah. Alec might beat him here.
Hey, Chad, I got a turtle question for you.
All right.
Okay, so this is back in the day when they were doing like the cartoon comic book, right?
Mm-hmm. The Adventure?
Yeah, so there was a period where Raphael dressed in total black. Do you remember that? They went to an off-world battle, and then all of a sudden when they came back for like a year, he wore this total black outfit.
Man, I can't recall. That Adventures run, I think, was like outside of this run, the longest running
Yeah.
Turtles run. So, but I can't remember it. I don't know if I read it actually, because there was so much into that. I do know there was one part where Raph was Shredder. I believe that was an Image thing.
Yeah, this was before. I bet you it was even before Image came around.
Yeah, are you laughing at Mickey Shack's comment right there?
No, I've got a dumb story about that. I might have to save that for Turtle Thursdays or Heroes and a Half Review or Reviews and a Half Shell. It's not a good story. It's pretty stupid, but it's stupid in a funny way. There you go. But anyway, speaking of chat, I do want to get back into this chat because even though this is complete 100% chaos, we still have a chat for some reason. So God bless all you guys. We got Take the Time Collectibles. He is still in the chat. We got Biggie Shack asking interesting questions about the Ninja Turtles. But I love me some Biggie Shack. He was live earlier today. We got Comic Head 84 in the panel.
Yo,
we found him. What's going on, Kitty?
I'm just hanging out, man. I was just watching
the show.
I was rewatching Game of Thrones before my 11 o'clock show that I thought was coming up.
I was just saying we can restart at 11 if everybody actually shows up. I'll do it. I don't care. I'll make Chad join me anyway of Comic Core Chad since he's here now. But I did want to shout out the Great Legend. He says newsstand. So yeah, wore the shirt tonight and everything. I didn't know where my shirt was. Then I found it just in time. So there we go. And then we still have Joffrey's Comics with Kids in the chat. So I guess we could go while we're waiting to see if Caleb's going to come in. I guess we could go over what to expect on the Comic Core channel this week. So and Farley's Nerd Cave folds. So the auction is over. So thank you, Farley, for folding on time. Oh, wrong show. We are having an auction this Saturday, I believe. At it's either going to be at 9 p.m. or 10 p.m. I got to ask my panelists because I do have to work till at least 10 o'clock. But we will be putting together a Comic Core auction this Saturday. Friday is Comic Core Chat announced. We'll have a special guest on Comic Core, the guy from Freddy 2. So I'm really looking forward to that. That sounds awesome. Well, let's keep counting it down. What, are we doing Game of Thrones on Thursday, Chad?
Game of Thrones on Thursday. I thought we were supposed to do wrestling on Wednesday.
Is that this week too? Wrestling Wednesday? Oh, man, I could do that. So we're going to have a wrestling chat this Wednesday at 11 p.m., I believe, right?
Yeah.
That's with Tony Sanders, Jeffrey Comic-Con Henson. Is the two of us, Chad? Who else we getting on that?
Whoever.
Whoever. All right. So if you like wrestling and you're in the Comic Core, hit us up.
How about
wrestling on Wednesday? What else we got, Chad?
Big E Shaq?
Oh man, to get Big E Shaq, that'd be sweet. We got to get that guy.
I love wrestling, guys, but unfortunately, Wednesday night I'm on this other cool ass show called Old Man Saga, where me and John we're talking some Old Man Hawkeye, Old Man,
Nice.
and some Old Man Logan. I just grabbed the first Old Man Hawkeye book that I had. John's showing off all his Old Man
Dude,
stuff.
it's such a good run. It's like the most underrated thing in the last 2 years that I've been reading. It's just so flipping good.
And I can't wait to talk about it with you on Wednesday, John. So if you guys aren't
And
into
this guy in the middle, we got this other guy. Kenny's gonna be there.
yeah, with the hot tag.
If he remembers what time.
I'll definitely show up to that one.
Yeah.
What time
He's
is
gonna remember.
it?
What was that?
What time is it again, John?
8:15 on Wednesday. So basically, when I'm done with Unlimited, I'll jump on my channel and get it fired up.
Cool. And of course, we couldn't have a wrestling show. If the Macho Head wants to be on the wrestling show, you can definitely feel free to tag in on that too.
He said, "Dude, I'm down."
Yeah, and then Big E Shaq, he wants in, man. So consider the
There's a
door
lot of wrestling
wide
fans in the
open.
comic
Oh yeah,
community. I'm surprised. It's so many live shows I tune in and people are throwing wrestling quotes out and comments, and it's like, dang, it's a thing. I didn't realize that how closely knit those two cultures were.
Yeah, there's a lot of crossover, I feel like, of the pro wrestling world and comics. Like your heroes, your villains, your storylines, your larger-than-life characters, you know.
Yep.
Man, I thought you were just talking about. I thought you were talking about YouTube in general.
yeah. There's like there's a lot of those 80s, especially in the 80s. Like a lot of the wrestlers, they're like your comic book heroes, basically, kind of the same as a lot of them are scumbags in real life, but you get them the lights on bright. You get the Hogans, the Machos, Ultimate Warriors, Undertakers, and man, they're just as iconic as Superman. And yeah, Lex Luthor. You got the Honky Tonk Man, Nature Boy, Ric Flair, and keep going all day.
Since we've got two members of the story panel here, like I know you guys are working your way through WoW, which is a phenomenal story, and I heard grumblings of Age of Apocalypse, but like what are some of the other ones that you guys think that you want to read? Because John and I were just talking about something, and I've completely forgotten about Lock and Key.
Oh, Lock and Key is great.
And
I own the first trade, but I haven't read it actually. So, yeah, I always say good things about it, though.
I mean, go ahead.
I would say one that I would throw out there, I guess. And since we've been kind of like doing different, like Southern Bastards, man. Like I think that's one that we should do as well, man. Like Jason Aaron, indie title, and that just. I don't know if it's ever going to end because I don't think he's come out with that last volume yet, but definitely I think that would be one that we could do.
I got a bunch. We could do. I would restart my read of Saga of Swamp Thing, Alan Moore. I would love to have a panel talk about All-Star Superman, Grant Morrison. I think that would be a great one. Probably my favorite Superman run of all time. We could also do the Death of Superman and Rebirth of Superman. Just saying, Dan Jurgens, 90s love there. So, I mean, those are just me and you, Chad. We got to talk about Superboy at some point. I think it's inevitable. Just read the first 10 issues of Superboy sometime.
I think we'll be talking a lot about that here come Titans.
And
the
John's Teen Titans, too. We could do that before Teen Titans comes out, season 2, if you wanted to.
I mean, like the one thing, so the one thing that like Carson and I talked about this, probably just the other day, and the one thing that I know everybody has their runs and everybody wants to collect their books, and Kat always says collect what you like, read what you want, right? Or read what you love. And I would probably pass over a lot of these spec books for like, I know this is sound ridiculous, Dan Jurgens' Titans run or the Superboy run, because those are the two. That Superboy character was the one that got me back into comics. I was like, yeah, this dude's a punk rock star. I want to be him,
My girls love reading. Anytime I find those in dollar bins or whatever, we snag them, and my girls love it.
I mean, Superboy was such a cool character. I mean,
oh yeah.
And then they actually built on his origin as the time progressed. And I mean, the fact that he's half Luthor and half Clark, come on, doesn't get any better than that.
That's why I would debate if I wanted to do the Tom Grummett and Carl Kessel Superboy, or just skip right to the Jeff Johns Teen Titans, because Superboy's finest arc is in that run, in my opinion. Especially when he finds out about the whole Luthor thing, and then eventually he goes into the future, and then you have like the Titans of the future, and then Luthor gets into his head, and then he starts dating Cassie, Wonder Girl, and man, it's just such a good run.
What books, or I mean, like, John, what would you want to read and collect? I mean,
for me, I mean, what got, you're saying what got you back in, and what got me back in was like Vertigo, and pretty much anything they were publishing within a certain time frame, I was into it. So I've talked about 100 Bullets a lot on my channel. I think that's a phenomenal read, start to finish. At the same time, they had Why the Last Man. You had Fables, which is a really underrated comic. I would love to do like I don't know if I could do it every week because I got so many damn shows at this point, but like every so often do like an indie throwback, just like a real good non-DC, non-Marvel comic that is maybe finished, that's done, and you can go back and just grab trade one and read trade one and get into it.
When you said 100 Bullets, how everybody wants movies to come out of certain comics, I always wanted that to be a video game.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Just get a gun with 100 bullets and say go.
Yeah. Well, and what I always dug about that comic was it's like this. It's the ultimate like morality tale. Like you can get away with murder. Do you do it? And it's justified. Like it's like somebody who's done you wrong, right? And you're given the chance. You're given the opportunity. You're given the proof that they did it. Do you do it?
Sounds like an interesting concept. I've never heard of that. So it's almost like The Purge. Is that what you're describing? Like people get
So like each trade follows a character given the opportunity, right, to commit murder. And so the first trade follows this girl named Dizzy Cordova. She's just out of prison. She's trying to get her life back together. And on the elevated train, this old cruster in like a Reservoir Dogs suit sits down next to her. I pictured like a Clint Eastwood guy sits down next to her with the briefcase. He slides it over and he's like, in the briefcase is a gun that's untraceable, 100 bullets, and proof that the reason your life is in shambles is some other person's fault. And you're allowed to use this gun and these bullets however you want. You can't go to jail. You will not be charged anything for the crimes you commit with this gun. And enjoy it. And then just leaves her with it. And she doesn't believe it, of course, like most people who get the gun, doesn't believe it. Within a short time, she gets busted for carrying the gun. It goes to the jail, and then the police have to give the gun back to her and say sorry, and she's allowed to go on her way. Even though she's an ex-con, she should not have a gun legally.
Yeah.
They look her up in the system, they say sorry, they give all of it back to her, and she's free to go. So now she's like, okay, this is legit. Do I do it? Then she reads the file and, of course, like comes to the shocking realization that somebody has indeed done her horribly wrong. Then now she's justified and the opportunity is there. What does she do? And then, her story ends. The next trade starts. Another person gets the briefcase and another good reason. And it's a great damned if you do, damned if you don't. There's no good, easy answer to the morality tale. And there's a couple other characters who repeat each time, but you really get a new city and a new hero sort of each trade.
Yo, what's up, Big J?
Yeah, what up?
Good, bro.
Thanks, man. What's going on?
Hey, I know that dude.
Hey, what's up, man?
What's up, man?
Dude, Chad and I got to hang out this weekend, man. We went
With Mastodon.
dude. Yeah, hung out with Mastodon.
Oh, awesome.
I saw Mastodon. Oh, dude, so sick, bro.
Yeah, dude.
Do
Yeah,
you
it was a
guys-
good time, man.
Do you guys know that they did the intro to the Aqua Teen Hunger Force?
Oh, the band
movie?
Mastodon. Yeah.
Bro.
Uh-huh.
Dude, I was like, bro, when I saw that in theaters, I was like in tears. One, because there's a gumdrop like doing metal. And then when I'm like, yo, that's Mastodon. That's fucking sick.
That was a great intro. Now we got hung up with Donnie, the Mastodon comic collector, man.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah,
word.
Mhm.
Bro, anytime I think Mastodon, I think
Dude, same. that's definitely where he got his name. I'm pretty sure he's a
has to,
metalhead.
right?
Yeah, Donnie's metalhead. Yeah.
So, hey, Jason, what we're doing is we're kind of, throwing a intermission on the story and kind of talking maybe about stories that were somewhat underrated, but are such phenomenal reads. And John just talked about 100 Bullets.
Cool.
What do you think? Something like for you, what do you think doesn't get as much hype as they should, and it's just a phenomenal read?
I really liked Kill or Be Killed, but I think that had some pretty good hype for a while when it started, but then I think the hype slowed down. But then it kind of picked up when they announced the series is going to end on like issue 20, so people kind of jumped back into it. But yeah, I really like Ed Brubaker's Kill or Be Killed. I thought that was super hella tight. It was just a guy battling like his own like sanity. He's always questioning himself when he's actually possessed or if he's like, going insane. He didn't know what's what, so it was really cool concept and fun. But yeah, I mean, that's just one I can think of off the top of my head.
How about you, 84?
Shoot, man. I'm not sure about like a deep cut, but as far as what got me back into comics after, like as an adult, was Watchmen. The Watchmen trade blew my mind, and Preacher.
Oh.
And Watchmen's like a one-off, but Preacher, I just devoured the whole. I don't know. I think it's like 8 to 10 trades that I have of it, the whole story. So Preacher's Kill, not a super secret since it's on television, but I feel like not enough people have read it, though, actually.
Well, you know what? I'm not familiar with. What's that writer's name?
Oh, it's Garth Ennis.
Yes, because my show comes out July 29th. I was just trying to do a segue there. And I got a review from Chuck Load of Comics, who's already watched it. And The Boys, it's a 72 issue series. If you guys haven't read The Boys,
Excellent.
who said that? Because I don't have the screen up.
Yeah, 84 said it. Yeah.
Okay, I'm making sure John's Comics and Kids does not say he read this.
Did you read it, John?
No, I've never read it.
Oh, dude, you're in for a surprise, man.
You have to get a steel box with a padlock, so none of your kids would ever watch it or read it at all. So the premises about it is it's basically the Justice League and how we perceive them and how the people perceive them in their public view. But in reality, they are narcissistic, they are sexual deviants, and they are just downright horrible people. And when the Justice League member, one of the Justice League, it's called the Seven, when one of them dies, they have to replace him with another member because the Seven has to have the Seven. And it's this girl, and I think, what is her name? The Bright Light or something like that. I don't know. I can't remember her name, but her powers, she just glows really bright. And essentially, in order for her to join the team, she has to perform fellatio on all the members of the league, including the Wonder Woman one. Now, where the boys come in, it's a group of these. The one guy, he's sitting there and he's spinning around with his wife, and all of a sudden, the Flash character kills him. He kills his wife, and he's just standing there holding her two arms, and it just becomes complete chaos because this guy named Butcher, he reaches out to her, and they're all powered. They have superpowers too because they drink this stuff called mother's milk, and it's from a meta's woman's breast. And they get superpowers, and they essentially police the bad guys. The good guys in this one. And they even explain, like, every year, you know how like DC and Marvel have their massive crossover? Well, they explain that in the book as they're going off-world to have this giant battle with these people that are threatening the Earth. Instead, they go to like Jamaica and have, they call it Herogasm, and it's just a giant orgy.
How long has this comic been running? You said 72 issues already?
No, it's over. It was 72 issues. Garth
Dang.
Ennis wrote it. DC actually was writing. Wasn't DC producing it for the longest time, and then he did this one cover of all the major deaths or major comic covers, but he made all the people gay and naked. So like Spider-Man's throwing his uniform away and walking away naked. Superman's holding Supergirl and they're both naked. Like it does the covers. I mean, it is crazy. And then I think that's when Image picked it up.
What's up, Alec?
Oh, we got the natural, the anti-joy equation. Alec from Whitewell Comics.
So,
Welcome to your show.
Thanks. It sounds like it's going great. Let me say something real quick. So we've been kind of throwing around different wrestling nicknames for me since, we got Macho Head and we got the Tone and all this, and Paul Whaler was tossed around and Coco B. Whale. I know this is not a pun, but clearly I'm Vince McMahon because the show is part about me. And you're all fired. All serious, way to.
And that's what the Comic Core does. We throw out a light and everybody comes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I really wish when he entered, he would have just been like, "It was me, Austin.
All the time.
It was me all along."
He rips off his.
You can see his beard through the robe.
Classic.
Oh, I love
Alec,
that
did you ever read The Boys?
I only read the first couple, but I heard you just talking about it. Yeah.
It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I still have like images in that comic from like things I'll never like get out of my head. I was just like, it was the first pretty much mature or indie comic I ever read, and I think I was like just fresh out of high school. I was like, what is this? But
So
yeah,
I think
And it-
Comic Books NYC and some other guys, they did a little breakdown on it just recently.
Yeah, I mean, I did one a while ago on it, a review on it. But when we got to meet Garth Ennis, Drew Manchu kept on asking him. He goes, "I know you got the boys coming out, but I want a book nothing but Dog Welder. I need more Dog Welder in my life." Because they literally have a character called Dog Welder, and all he does is he welds dogs to you. I think that actually was in DC. And
Yeah, he was a villain of the Hitman. That dude, Hitman.
yeah.
Doc Waller used to fight that guy. Yeah.
I'm trying to strut with my face.
All right, so Carson, back
Yes.
to you.
Oh man. But anyway, we got a phenomenal chat going here for some reason. I don't know why, but I'm gonna go over the chat. These guys, they're still here. This is awesome.
I forgot we're alive.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was like, oh, man.
But these people did. We still got Biggie Shack, Take the Time Collectibles. Brandon Stowinski Comics says cowbell. We need more cowbell. So thank you for joining us, Brandon Stowinski. Always like seeing you. We got Bake the Snake. What's going on, Bake? Nice to see you in the chat. We've been discovered, guys. We got JB from Discovery Bake Comics. He's still roughed up from his unboxing match this last Saturday with Bear Island. So, like I said, those guys tougher than $2 steaks. By God, even though John's Comics with Kids came in and whipped all their asses
Hey,
That
out
is
of
so
nowhere
funny.
with the Money in the Bank briefcase, he won. He's the king of unboxings. So, congrats.
I woke up and I saw a picture of just John wearing that crown crooked. And I was like, I wanted to take a screenshot so bad just because I wanted to get like a t-shirt made of it.
I'll send you the skill, brother.
Because he looks like Biggie, doesn't he?
Biggie, yeah.
And I'm like,
Biggie, what? Yeah, exactly.
Skinny.
Oh, dude.
we
I
can
was
call,
dying,
oh,
man.
great. We can call it Skinny. I'm making it a shirt.
Skinny instead of Biggie. Dude, I was dying. Like I did not. I don't think anyone expected that, man. Like that needs to be on a best of like Comic Core compilation at the end of the year, like in December, man. Like that was hilarious. I was dying.
Oh well,
I could not stop laughing.
we did get some good news. Jason, do you want to share with them about Baltimore?
Oh yeah, you said we got the booth, right? They
Yeah,
approved
we
the
got it
stage
taken
setup.
care of, and we've got passes and the whole nine. We got to meet the guys that run that show on Saturday.
Hell yeah.
So,
Awesome. Cannot wait. I even looked at the guest lineup for a month or so. I wonder who all they're going to get the next
It's
few weeks
pretty-
announced.
So I think we should have a contest for like who we're gonna try to get to come.
That'd
Yeah.
be cool. Yeah.
Like what community member or core member wants to come?
It's like who's never been to a con, you know?
I mean, I'm already going, so
Awesome.
you'll see my mug.
Never
there.
been to Baltimore, so I got to make my way there. So I'll
Hell
meet
yeah.
where we're taking.
We gotta get people.
I think I'm going to end up at that Baltimore one. Nice.
Yeah.
Is that the one that you guys got press passes and stuff for? Baltimore?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm skipping out on New York Comic Con. I'm just focusing straight on Baltimore, I think, you know.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, just they're so close to each other. It's like 2 weeks apart from each other or something like that. I'm like, let me just save my dough for Baltimore and buy homies.
Maybe I'll
beers
go
and-
sightseeing and try to find the towers from The Wire.
Yeah, we getting crabs.
One way or another. I hate to throw a bunch of clotheslines and knock you all off the top rope and leave, but I'm gonna have to drive home, and I want to be safe.
Be safe.
All right, be safe, man. Thanks for hopping in.
Thanks for having an interesting episode of Story Comic Corps. For that.
It'll
Stay
be off the
tuned
rails.
next
Don't
week.
worry.
I'll check in when I get back home, at least in the chat. All right, bye.
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 Later.
Later.
Definitely the only time he's ever going to invite me on this show.
Yeah, so Who Dat Comics asked, is White Whale an Uber driver? No, he works for Lyft.
Because that's way more cheap.
Safe travels, Alex. Enjoy the con.
Earlier, I did pose a question in the chat, like, what stories would you guys like to see us talk about? So there were a few suggestions that came up. So Take the Time Collectibles agreed Killer Be Killed's an amazing book, worth reviewing. Biggie Shack says Nailbiter. Gray Matter Hulk said The Sword by the Luna Brothers. Who Dat Comics and Movies said he just wants the stories. So there you go. He likes everything. Actually, he did say the Black Panther, the volume where Shuri put on the Black Panther outfit. He says he really likes that one. And once again, Take the Time Collectibles agreed that Nailbiter's awesome. I think Biggie Shack also suggested some Walking Dead too. So I would definitely like to revisit some of those earlier Walking Dead volumes because they were much better.
Bake the Snake hit lock and key as well. Hey
I need
guys,
to read that.
I hate to hit the hot tag and bounce, but I got an early day and I just wanted to make sure. That's why my brother Misexplained jumped in. So
Yeah, bro. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just
Right.
woke up from a nap, man. I was like, oh, hell yeah, man. I'm down to talk about some comic books.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
I'll talk to you guys soon. See ya.
All right, homie.
Peace.